We're not ready? Are we ready?
No,
We're
I was
ready.
making a joke about you. We are ready.
Yeah, just no one told me when to start. No, we're good. Who wants to do recap?
All right.
Okay.
So
Recap.
we learned a little more about the weird gods, and Martrius has been missing for a while. He's one of them. We went to the Desecrated Acres. We saw a weird fish. Leon talked about fish poop and dead fish.
And eating
And
fish
I don't
with
think-
their poop.
Yeah. And Lou tried to get him to shut up about fish poop. Yeah, there was something weird about the fish, but he needed help for like his fish god or something.
I thought it was a end of the world prophecy sort of thing.
Maybe. I mean, there was a relic.
Oh yeah, wait, I had my.
No, I'm
Yeah,
being
So
honest.
we
Most
need
of the
to
last
like
session felt
save
like a fever dream.
Fish Jesus with the fish infinity stones to
Well,
stop the fish rapture
Oh.
or something.
That is quite a unique, idea of what's going on. Yeah.
We went to. We found out that Ronaine stole a boat in Weathermount,
one
Mhm.
time.
and Lou may or may not know the dude that Ronaine stole the boat from, but Ronaine didn't give the boat back and has lost the boat.
On accident. Leave him alone.
I'm not gonna leave him alone.
He didn't do anything. He's just a guy.
So we need to pass the bridge like normal citizens. It was like 50 gold for all of us, and Lou had to pay all of it. Lou wanted to like throw the guards overboard or over
Now, Lou,
the
Lou
bridge.
did also offer to pay all of it.
Yes, because he's an idiot.
Lou is trying to make up for past mistakes with money. I see how it is.
Probably.
Got that
So
rich
Lou
people
pays everyone's
mentality.
way. Layla says, "I wish we had the old Lou back," and Ronaine probably says something like, "This is the old Lou."
Yeah.
And Layla doesn't believe that Lou is a bandit leader.
No, she's looking out for cameras to see if she's not punked.
And she might, we'll find out this session on Dragon Ball Z. We found out that the Desecrated Acres is just burnt to shit. Just real singed and isn't getting help from the government.
Yes.
And Lou got his giant scar from a ballista,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it
more
really
than-
hurt, but he doesn't remember it hurting, so it didn't.
That's how that works.
Yeah,
Granted,
because you don't
probably up
remember
until that
something, it doesn't
point-
exist.
Yeah. Until that point, he probably entirely forgot about anything to do with a scar or, you know.
Yeah, Lou doesn't pay that much attention to all the scars on his body. He kind of forgets about them.
Yeah.
So now the ballista one is on his mind. Because, you know, a ballista hit him and almost killed him.
I'm gonna kind of open this up. I don't really have a set of questions since last session was a lot of traveling. However, I do have one on the top of my head. There was a unique marking that some of the individuals in the Desecrated Acres had. That I kind of described as like, like a quirky little interesting thing. Does anyone remember what that might be?
I know what it isn't.
That's a start.
It's not that they had the gate ear pierced.
Oh, no.
Some of them probably do.
Well, yeah, probably. But it wasn't told.
Not the right ear.
Yep. You know what,
How do
Sarah?
you-
I'll give it to you. Everyone in the Desecrated Acres is indeed gay.
This is where
And-
Lou's from, right?
No, he's not from
Yes.
here. He just, no, he was trained here.
Ah, I see.
His
Totally
Uh,
mom,
but
his mom
trained
sent him to
gay.
anti-conversion camp. But no, they had,
It was not Harry Potter lightning scar tattoos either.
They
didn't have tatted up socks either.
So I guess I'll kind of give a hint, and if y'all don't get it, I'll kind of reiterate it just in case it is to come up again. It has something to do with the issue the Desecrated Acres is facing.
they're all burnt up.
No.
They have money tattoos.
I was gonna say they're starving.
They are.
They're ashy in complexion.
No.
Uh,
I think I've given enough time, but I don't think anyone has gotten it. When you guys first entered, I did say that notably some of them had darkened veins and kind of like a pit of a stomach situation kind of going off.
what do you mean by pit of a stomach?
Although you cannot see any of their stomachs really, you do see that there is a distortion near the stomach area, and some of them seem to be relatively thin already just because of the lack of food thing, but some of them look like really, really bare bones. But yeah,
They look
That's-
like grenade.
yes, and I did say that on the end of the last episode. No, they do not look like. I think that was the last one too. It's different than Renane.
Yeah.
Renane's arm looks dead and mummified. They just kind
Yeah.
of look. Yeah.
He's a mummy, they're zombies. It's different.
Yeah.
He's half zombie.
Oh. You know, it does kind of remind me of the whole weird thing about Lou not reacting to the undead biting thing.
That is true. You guys never really figured that out either, did
We
you?
never figured it out, and we forgot about it and never asked Renane about it.
Yeah, which
Probably has something to teach.
unless you guys use your freebie, Renane would not know anything about that.
That's fair. I'd love to know what he thinks about it, though. Just like, wow, Lou, that's pretty weird.
Yeah, it would probably be another like, and that's as far as that goes. But yeah, you guys are in the Desecrated Acres. You guys just got through the gate. One thing I forgot to mention that I will mention now is Arias has recovered himself to look not like Leon. He is letting Leon kind of take on the persona of Orion Himmel. But other than that, you walk through, there's like the market area in the front of people trying to sell their wares without going too deep into the Desecrated Acres. And that is where we left off. So yeah.
Well, I don't want to wait for Sarah to come back out, so I feel like the pugs are a situation today.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. 2 weeks ago feels like a month ago. I have no recollection except that Zach said we're gonna have to keep track of our rations from here on out.
Yep. You do.
Yeah. We're gonna have to go hunting for little wild animals for Lou to brutally maim.
Perhaps so, which are indeed scarce in the Desecrated Acres. That is something that Renane probably would have filled you in on.
Okay, yeah.
But just as it kind of was for everyone else, it was kind of a secondary thought to Renane. Like you're kind of away from the problem and you have other things on your mind. And then you finally get into the area and you're like, oh, right. poverty.
Yeah.
I actually have
Lou
to
forgot
focus
about
on
poverty.
to eat food. So yeah.
Because, he didn't grow up in poverty because, he didn't live in a shack.
The Orion thing was that Orion has recovered himself and is letting Leon take the form of Orion Himmel. I have
Is that
done this to myself. I have 14 different
yeah.
O and Lion names to remember.
Listen, I made things easy for you with the
Why
characters
can't-
are created. I made them all very okay, not Lou, but besides that.
Well, I was given the entity Orion Himmel, and I was like, okay, well, I had this plot point in mind, so I kind of just chose names that would make sense, like two brothers at the age of like 10, being like, we want to perform. What do we do? Merge our names together.
Hey, Sarah, are you gonna figure out like is Mike's stuff okay? Is it like a dog thing? I wasn't supposed to sound as mean as it did. Okay, are you good audio wise?
Are you alive?
I just want to make sure you're here before we start stuff.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm trying, man.
I understand. All right, so I guess we need to go see Skatha. She might know what to do next.
You see Arias and Leon kind of look your way, and Leon pitches in. He's like, ah, yes, this Scotha fellow. Lead the way.
All right. Yeah. Elbow Renee. Elbow Renee. Yeah, Renee, lead the way.
Ah, God. He kind of begins to trudge forward deeper into the desecrated acres. So you have this unique moment where everyone seems to be kind of booming at the bridge. That seems to be a very big gathering point, mainly for sales and like bartering and everything like that. People coming by to window shop, as I stated earlier, because there's not really a lot of money here. But as you guys kind of walk further down into it, which you do seem to be heading towards like the southernmost end of the desecrated acres, there is a very, very large bit of empty space. Houses that used to be there, the ashy, dark ground beneath you. The only break in silence seems to be maybe the crowd behind you that you are slowly walking away from, or the wind. After walking for a fairly long time, it feels like, let's see if you're walking, yeah, like 2.5 hours maybe. Eventually, you do start to see smoke and other things from burning ahead of you, and a couple landmarks that I will discuss now. One thing to be noted, to know about the area you're in, and I guess Renee would kind of hint at this on your travels, is there does seem to be yet another governing force here. Thing is, it's kind of self-governed. It's a bunch of people who came together that was like, this is the desecrated acres. People still live here. We can't have everybody killing each other all the time. That would be a problem. So you have like this unmarked, unnamed group that seems to be governing most of the people. However, for those known as the refugees, which is the group that Scotha kind of looks over, they follow the rules, but they don't necessarily tribute anything grand to them. It's more of a, yep, they're there, but we're going to continue doing what we're doing. As long as we don't kill anybody or do anything stupid, they won't intervene. With this in mind, you see that to your right, because you guys are walking south, but on the western edge of this group of individuals that you see before you, you see a bunch of people kind of in an open field beating the crap out of each other. If any questions are raised for that, Romain describes that the group that's controlling everything understands that some people just hate each other, and where their forces are relatively small, they allow people to kind of go out of earshot and eyesight to handle their things by themselves. Kind of like a Wild Western situation where it's like you can't kill each other in the bar, so you walk outside and shoot each other in public. But a little bit more, what am I trying to say, humane, where it's no one's supposed to see you unless they are also doing something stupid.
Listen, it's hard to get blood out of the wood of the bar.
Yeah, exactly. Especially back in the day.
That's. You know, I think we can maybe work on this later. The whole people killing each other thing.
Oh, so
I think-
now you want to be
They
more
don't
about
always
killing.
kill each other. You see, if they kill each other, they'll get tainted by the ground, and then it's a whole
Uh,
issue.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, it's,
Tainted by the
yes.
ground?
Okay, so this is the desecrated acres. It has been desecrated, yes.
Right.
Thing about that is, while everything on the top is kind of ashy and burned, things below the ground seem to be a little bit more dark. Trying to think of the correct form of or way to say it. But people have been known to not necessarily rest in peace. They're not necessarily known for going peacefully to begin with. And most of the time, unless you are a part of the Church of Allmater, which we will see coming up, and there is like a big marble building, we'll say, in the distance, you don't get a burial, you get more of a flaming boat scenario.
Charming.
And for those interested in the fires that you guys are approaching, as you get closer, you kind of smell a little bit of death in the air. Right. Any more questions about that?
Renane, I'm going to be so honest because the thought has crossed my mind. Have you taken people out back to where it's okay to kill? Have you killed anyone here, Renane? Are you involved in this stuff?
Can I ask why you're asking?
I'm just kind of curious.
Right, yeah.
I'm trying to get to know you better.
Not many.
Okay, so the number isn't 0.
I mean, it's just the way this kind of goes. Do you remember how we were talking about you getting into bar fights and me having to kind
Renane,
of deal
did
with
you
the problem?
kill the people I tried to fight with when I was drunk?
No, not all of them.
But the number isn't 0. And that's what concerns me a little.
Well, no, listen,
Um,
that's the way things go. People know that they can do whatever they want because certain governing forces do not care if they are out of eyesight.
Right.
Instead of getting tea poisoned down the road or tragically finding myself in a robotic minotaur accident or something stupid.
What?
That was an analogy.
Okay.
Um,
I'd be less mad at if I could see robot minotaurs, I'll be honest.
well, there's been rumors, but nothing I've seen.
We are addressing that later.
I do, okay, sure.
Here's what's gonna happen. I'm going to try to never drink again, and you cannot do that again.
Well,
So we can avoid killing people.
It's not like a pastime of mine. I don't go out like, hey, you want to head into the west area where we take care of each other? No, it's a worst case scenario. Like I said, people know that after a certain bit of distance, the rules are no longer necessary, and they can deal with things however they feel like they need to deal with them. So there has been a time or two where that has occurred, and I have been a part of it, but for the better. I don't go out for.
Well, these people didn't have like families they relied on, right?
Well, not that I'm aware of, but I can't imagine if you're asking to fight people in the middle of a public location and taking them into the western area that you have much to leave behind.
Well,
That might
I
that
mean-
sounds a little harsh. That's not exactly what I mean by that, but
yeah,
you-
we'll
you see-
stop
you see
thinking
where
about
I'm
it.
coming from? Okay, okay, good, cool, cool. Okay.
I think that's for the best. I'm
Yeah.
not going to ask if I've done that. I don't think I want to know right now.
I mean, if it's any merit, it's easier for you. You just kind of stand as close to the city that you feel is allowed, and flick an arrow, and then they fall over. Yeah, I don't know.
Have I done that? That sounds
I
like cheating.
don't think so. No.
All right,
Like
we'll
I
leave
said,
it there.
I handled the business end,
The-
and that was more of the business.
The business end is as in killing people.
But the business end of you talk a lot of smack, and then someone wants to do business, and I take the business elsewhere. There's that. It's a lot to. I'm shocked this didn't come up earlier. But then again, I guess you don't remember a lot about.
I'm gonna
this place.
nudge Layla.
Yeah, we
Well-
didn't talk about it much back when I was a kid about this place. I can kind of see why. Not really good stories for bedtime.
Yeah, and real quickly, Maladin nudging Layla. What were you?
Yeah, I'm gonna nudge Layla and be like, "Isn't this the same guy that wanted to kill some people on the bridge, like in cold blood?"
Lou, did,
Are you saying this quietly? I'm guessing so.
if I can I hear him?
That is up to Maladin. This is a segue between two characters that are saying that. loud enough,
Roll
right?
perception check. No.
Okay. I can.
I'm going
No.
to say, yeah, you can just hear Maladin say this.
I was not going to kill them. I was going to push them off of the bridge. I am assuming
I
they
didn't
can
say
swim.
kill them either. I said pick them up, one hand on the arm, one on the leg, and toss them over.
Exactly. It's peaceful. It's a form of peaceful protest.
You guys are
Mm.
weird.
Listen, the longer you hear, I'm sure that some of this is going to rub off on you.
Oh gosh.
No.
I'm
Don't
starting
not.
to see
Listen, it's more about the perception. You have to. There's.
Not that sentence with the
Well,
earring on the right ear. Oh no.
stop that.
Let me. Maybe I should indeed say this. It's painted like we are bad people. I promise you that everything we have done has not gone for no reason. As you have kind of seen, a lot of people are being taken advantage of at every turn, and it only gets worse the further inland you get. The bridge is the start of it for a lot of these individuals. There's a reason that although there's no food and people are starving and doing whatever they can to live, no one really leaves. These are consider a farmer. We make good money because we do things people don't want to do. Farmers, in this case, there's a lot of miners. It's a mining area that will pass eventually. They're just doing whatever they can to survive, and they are wrongfully getting taken advantage of because they can't control anything outside of their little life. They can't go across and find something better.
Two things. One, appreciate the follow, Zina. Second, so if they're not making that much money, who's paying you?
What do you mean?
You.
Are you government funded?
How do you make your money, Renee?
Well, we usually didn't, but we would kind of fight the governing powers wherever they be. I mean, we did take some money just to keep things flowing, but at the same time, we tended to return it to the people. This is a community. This isn't a place where we profited, so to speak.
So,
People
That's
are our
reassuring.
family and our homing, like our homes. We weren't doing this just because.
So what I'm hearing is you steal the money to give it back to the people for the people to have it taken from them again.
With the yes, and as Scatha rightfully put it, because I had the same perception about the whole ordeal at the very beginning. It's not that we know that it's gonna be taken away again. We know it's going to be taken away again, but our intention is to eventually get it where we put it back into our ecosystem and people are able to flourish off of it instead of walking across the bridge and then losing half of their funds. There won't be anyone governing the bridge. They can do what they'd like to and live their lives wherever and however they wish to.
I heard the ecosystem part and I want to look around at the fish just smiling at us.
Yeah, followed
Oh.
by the several dead ones that are just like floating up.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, Ronaine, I can understand where our cause was coming from.
There's a was in that.
Okay,
I don't
okay.
know how I
I'm
feel about that.
okay. I'm sorry. I will need some time.
Okay.
Frankly, I'm trying to get everything back.
Well, I will be honest that this is not my forte. I have my own thoughts and opinions about it, but I have a feeling that Scatha will do better at guiding us down a correct path. And I feel like she may have more answers for whatever you guys wish to know.
I think that'd be great.
Because everything I have to say comes directly from her and what she's doing and what she has taught me. But I still do not have all of the answers. And with that, anything else people would like to say, or are we just kind of continuing?
Langley, got anything?
Yeah. Who? What? And where?
We're going to see Scatha. She'll have
Mhm.
answers for us. And she lives,
To be determined.
Further south, we have a couple more landmarks to pass, and then we should be able to find them relatively quickly.
all right.
Did Maladin have something to say?
No.
Okay. Just making sure. With that, walking, you see a couple more landmarks on the eastern kind of waterfront situation. You see a large cathedral that is placed relatively close to the Temple of Almater. And if anyone wants more information on Almater, I know 100%, or Ilmater, however you say it. I just don't like that. It sounds like I'm saying Mater.
Tomater?
Yeah, exactly. Anyone who wishes to know more about that can make a religion check, and I'll get to that in a minute.
I would love to.
Sure, go ahead. There seems to be a large Gothic church, or he'll describe it as like a mortician's office, like a funeral home kind of situation. And there is a grave digger there who tends the grounds. His name is Zamir. He's a Goliath. The Church of Ilmater is ran by, what's her name? Oh, it was a Kalinda, Kellinda. And she is a disciple of Ilmater who has gone through her own personal journey and has decided to run his church here. Let me see those roles. See them these roles. 2018. Okay. Ilmater is a god of not necessarily suffering, but the growth that comes from it. So he is known mainly. Oh, there's a poodle outside, and she's painted it orange for a pumpkin.
Oh no, it's so cute.
Adorable. But he is worshipped mainly by people who have gone through great suffering or their own path of righteousness the hard way, and have kind of learned from their shortcomings and the pain and suffering how to be better people. But she has gone through her own journey, and therefore she has opened a temple just so people have something to worship. Skatha knows her. Skatha knows Zamir. You see further down more of these figures that were mentioned earlier don't really have an insignia or anything. They just seem to be armed guards in plain leather or whatever they could find with weaponry. And you see them shouting them back and forth at different people and everything else. And then further south, which you guys aren't necessarily heading in that direction, he describes that is where the mines are. There is a mayor that kind of runs the official business thing for this group of people who are watching over the desecrated acres. He also explains that he does indeed have deals with the other governing forces, such as the bridge, and he has corrective creativity to get people back on track once they screw up. So if you steal or you try violence within the city limits, you kind of go to him and he decides what to do with you. You are typically jailed, and then depending on what he decides, you either go to the mines to work off your situations. You are exiled, which no one that hasn't been exiled knows what exiles means. And that is a pretty big part of it.
There's a mayor?
Yes.
What does he sound like?
Oh no.
Well, I have met him a couple times. To me, he sounds like a dick. But well, he sounds like your religious friend.
I'm going to look at
who?
Pugnat.
But Pugnat
Me?
doesn't sound like a dick.
Well, no. This fellow also has a few shortcomings.
What do you mean? What do I sound like?
Yeah, the Pugnat looks like you. It's like, is he?
Is he making fun of me?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Is he a gnome? And Ronan goes, "Oh no! He's halfling, but he
Ronan,
yes.
that's not cool, man.
Well, no,
Yeah,
no,
Ronan, you
I-
can't just say that gnomes and halflings sound the same.
Well,
That's
no, he
Pugnat.
just has
That's our guy.
a stature. I'm not trying to be rude. Fine, you.
I'm
That's
gonna
your
have
short
it.
stature?
At this
How would
rate,
you
I'm gonna
word
have
it?
D&D X all over you.
Has a nasally high-pitched voice, maybe not as nasally. See, now I sound even worse. You guys caused this. No, he's a halfling, he's an a-hole, and he runs the jail and decides people's fate, and no one really questions him, and we have a problem with it. That's about it. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say here.
We will work on your views on short-statured races later, Ronan. Don't you worry.
Maladin, do
I really don't find that necessary. I'm trying to be kind about it. I don't know
Ronan,
how
how tall are
else
you?
you expect me to word it.
How tall are you?
How tall am I? I don't know.
He's
Lou,
just a little shorter than me.
Lou,
Okay, Luke, how tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
Okay, look, if you're 6 foot tall, You're not allowed to be mean to everyone shorter than you. I am
I'm
because I'm
not.
short. You're not. You can be mean to everyone taller than you though, and I can't do
Well, you
that.
don't have to sass everyone that's taller than you, but there you go. I mean, there's.
Well, you make it so easy.
Oh, the
Yeah, we're
there's two
hard
sides
targets
to
to
that coin, and
miss.
the other one is a direct reflection. Listen, I don't mean to be rude to people, but if that's it's an energy thing, right? If that's the energy I'm getting, that's what I'm going to give.
It's okay, Pugnat. I don't think you were being rude.
Thank you.
I don't know why I'm in this conversation.
I feel
Pugnat, if you
attacked.
ever feel offended,
I
let us
offense.
know.
I didn't take offense to it. I understand.
Grenade, why are you doing that voice? Why are you trying to pretend to be
Comparison.
I
Pugnat?
No.
Also, I will say, I think Lou is cutting up.
Actually,
I
no.
think-
This was me, Leon.
Hmm.
No.
Now.
Everyone just starts
No.
talking like Pugnat.
But yeah. So that is a generic layout of, for the current moment, points of interest. And as things go on, you guys may find more or learn about more. So it depends on how I feel you guys want to go about things. But we will see.
Lou, I think it's time for you to have one of your deep connection talks with Pugnat now.
I don't do that based off request. That
What
I
if we
do
say
my
pretty please?
best.
It's not a request, it's a
to-
demand.
He's right. Oh, hey, now. I'm in charge in this town. Looks over to Ronan
Are
for
you?
confirmation.
Looks around.
Looks to Ronan for
If
confirmation.
you'd like to ask Skatha about that, sure.
I won't be demanded at from the likes of you.
What do
What
you
about
mean
the
by
likes of
that?
me?
Maybe. You
We-
scare me a little more than he does.
No. I was
really
gonna say,
don't like how this conversation is going.
I think Pugnat could use a real pick me up, and I don't say that because he's short.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That kind of sounded more like. Never mind. It's okay.
Pugnat, how are you doing?
Yes.
I am okay.
But not great. Not fantastic.
What are we doing here again?
Maladin
Man, you're really bad at this.
said that you
Is that a voice crack?
might be. You shut up, Layla. A little sad. I don't know what I'm doing here, honestly.
I'm.
You know, everyone always asks. No, you go first.
I am okay. I'm just trying to follow the party and eventually find a place to settle down, I guess. I mean,
That's-
essentially,
Great. Maybe don't settle down here.
I don't intend to. I hope to find people who need help, but I mean, I'm not gonna encroach on anyone else's like territory. If they have a Church of Almater, hopefully they're doing well, but that's to be seen. We might have to have that conversation later.
You know, maybe I ought to introduce you to some of the people in Weathermount. Weatherport. Weather, one or the other.
Weatherport, not Weatherport.
Weathermount, Port,
I
Weatherport.
don't know what burdens me more: the fact that you finally got it right, or the fact that you immediately backtracked
Yeah.
in the opposite direction after getting it correct.
Oh no, I tried. I mean, it's a port town, to be fair.
Yeah.
Oh, I ought to introduce you to some of the people at Weathermount. I think it's a very nice town. Besides that one really big glaring issue in that town that we're not going to talk about right now.
That you're not there.
Well, what's the issue?
Let me check my notes to make sure I'm remembering. It was Weathermount, right? That had the like internal affairs issue and the divide in the north and the south.
Do you remember why they have a divide?
Yes, because one side hates magic.
I'll give you a potential bit of inspiration here.
Yeah.
For
There is
knowing
a
your
story
own
on
story.
why they hate magic that we discussed a long time ago.
Oh no.
Would you mind describing to your fellow party members why they hate magic?
All right.
Because Pugnet will definitely be asking about that.
Oh yeah, that is. So, in Weathermount, there's the north and the south. And the north the north is very big on magic. They have a lot of mages. The south sort of hates that.
Why?
Okay, so
'Cause
this is
Magic does a lot. It can heal people and it can protect people.
I agree.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the branch of magic, but like magic is pretty useful.
However,
We're listening.
gosh. However, the south.
I'm gonna give you an extra 30 seconds.
Oh no.
Or
The
you
South,
you can basically say pass. I have a railroad for this.
The thing is, I wish I can't remember the why. I just remember that they hate it and there's a war going on between them.
After hearing you stumble over your words, Ronaine speaks up and he goes, one of the three evil gods challenged someone to a race and they won, and he got mad and turned people into cow people, which wasn't a big deal until they started turning into mindless cows and just turned into families of people that were cows and are now grazing. So everyone blames the magic and not the whole reason everything happened to begin with. Yet again, this leads back to the government led by the 6 gods that are passing. He goes on a rant about. Auntie, yeah, you get it.
Right. So, yeah, that happened. How do you know more about it than I do? I swear I studied that in school. Which is to say, my mother told me once and I forgot.
Disregarding the amnesia, you know, you live there, and we live maybe a day's travel away from Weathermount. And I know your mother.
You've met her?
Yes.
I don't know, I'm just surprised.
Unless Barbo says otherwise, he has.
No, that makes sense. You know, I can vaguely remember my mother sending me off. Or I guess telling me that she's going to send me off, and it really seemed like a very final thing when she said it. I'm really glad that it wasn't.
No. I mean, she knew with her condition that she wasn't really able to teach you, and she remembered her time with Skatha and where, you know, she kind of helped Skatha get out of the circumstance herself. You were kind of her favor. She wanted to raise her boy to be a soldier, but after that failed, Skatha did the best she could with you, and there you are.
I mean, hey, you don't have to say it like in terms of failure.
I mean, has You really need to show these people how you wield a halberd or a polearm. Because who boy, but
I made a genuine attempt. I'm very good with a bow, and that's all that matters. But yeah, I can remember not being suited for the I wouldn't have survived the draft. Wouldn't have survived the military.
I mean, you would have done your best, but no.
No, yeah, I would have died in basic training. However,
Yes,
that
yeah.
didn't happen.
Well, we're almost there. And before you see a bunch of tents set out in the middle of like this common ground. At least you assume it was between a bunch of different larger houses that are destroyed and being worked on, but you can kind of tell it's not like these will once again be lived in. It's more like they are being renovated and uh, ready for problems to occur, like a place to hole up if need be. Um, why they are not fully restoring these locations, you can't necessarily guess. Well, you can guess, and you'd probably be right, but it has something to do with it being the desecrated acres, and stuff doesn't last long. Um, you see a good portion of tents and a large quantity of people, reaching about 35 to 40 people in this area. Between that, Renane kind of looks at you, Lou, and says, "Okay, that big tent is where we'll most likely find Skatha. Uh, would you like to lead the way, or do you want me to kind of guide us here?"
You know what? I need to show that I'm doing all right. Just before we go, is there anyone who's going to have a vendetta against me that I need to watch out for around here?
No, I think most of them left.
That's good. Is by left do you mean you killed them?
No, no.
Okay.
Why are we back here? No.
Making sure.
Can I give a little word of advice?
Sure.
I don't know how much you remember of Gotha, but since we are kind of fighting against powers that are kind of more than us, I don't think I would necessarily go about with the whole amnesia thing too heavily.
You mean lie to her and don't tell her that I don't remember her?
More like avoid the truth. I mean, if you would like to tell her, be my guest. It's just I don't know how she's paranoid about these kinds of things for a good reason, but
I mean, I could say I hit my head really hard, but
yes, well, the only issue is you disappeared for several months.
where do you expect me to say that I went?
I don't rightfully know.
I mean, I was kind of hoping she could help me figure out the amnesia thing.
Well, it's up to you. Just be weary of her abrasive nature when it comes to the unknown.
You think she wouldn't fight me over it? I mean, I don't remember anything.
I don't think she would like hurt you over it, but there's a certain level of trust that has taken a bit of time to gather. I mean, we are, well, her sons in a way. You know, it's just hard to kind of gather all that in a I don't know what I'm saying. I just something I wanted to speak out loud. I don't know what we need to do. I don't know how you wish to handle it. I'm just kind of putting that out there to
Well,
treat it kindly.
I'll we'll see how things go, and we'll ease into it, maybe. Or I'll yeah, we'll ease into it.
Alrighty.
And I can come up with
I
some
think we-
reason why I'm not.
Right back.
Yeah. Maybe we ought to let Layla do the talk.
Alrighty, I am back.
Oh.
We should not let Layla do the talking this
We
time.
could.
Layla doesn't want to get shot.
Shot? Probably strikes me as a close range fighter.
You'd be correct.
Oh my gosh.
Layla doesn't want to get
Oh.
stabbed. Layla enjoys having less scars than Lou has.
Oh no.
Would like to keep it that way.
Well, hey, listen, I will handle it
Mhm.
smoothly.
I'll be right behind you.
Thanks, pal. All right, let's let's go pretend I remember who I am.
This isn't going to go well, just so you know.
Okay.
Thanks, Layla.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. So you head forward into a large tent, and you see several figures that are kind of note, but not really. And I'm doing that mainly so I don't have to explain a bunch of NPCs that don't have high importance yet. But you see a large Goliath lady who has seen some age, several scars across her very large arms, quite muscular. In her left hand, you see a wooden cane, and her eyes seem to be glazed over a little bit, as if losing some color. But she doesn't seem necessarily, what do I want to say, hindered by it. And it almost looks like, and this is the best description I can kind of think of, when you're playing Skyrim and you walk up to the Jarl and he's just sitting in a chair with like his hand against his face. It's similar to that, but kind of people walking up and discussing things with this head figure, and getting advice. But as you all enter the tent, you notice her kind of perk up to look in your direction, before standing up and beginning to walk into the middle ground of this tent.
Lou is going to just wave awkwardly, I think. I mean, like, move forward, but like, hello.
With you kind of waving and kind of coming up, but not fully, you see her kind of pick up speed a bit, and meet you. And as she walks closer, you don't really, for the people who have never met her, her size is very hulking. But to you, it's kind of one of those things where you had like in your head like a memory, but then people rather grow or something happens. But she is about a couple feet taller than you. And the cane in her hand, she doesn't seem to be really using. But she puts a large, firm hand on your left shoulder, and says, "Praise be, one of my kids have returned." And she leans forward and places her forehead against yours. She says, "Where have you been?"
About that, I I went and fought a dragon and saved a town
It's true, I was there.
and met these fine people. Layla and Maladin. This is Scatha. Say hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes, and you have kept my son safe. And as she kind of speaks it out loud to the group, Lou, you notice that she is pulling against your arms and kind of raising them for you, almost like whenever you go to like a fancy boot. What am I trying to say? Not boutique, where they sew hem dresses and such, like a seamstress, and they're taking your measurements. But she is clearly looking for more damage and kind of making sure you are kind of still, relatively well kept.
Oh gosh, he is gonna have more damage though.
Mm-hmm. And as she kind of pulls up, you kept him safe? What's this? Where did this happen? What have you been through? And kind of picking up and shunting you to the left and right.
It's Lou is just fully letting this happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That one's from an orc that I might have gotten hit by a really small ballista.
Again?
Yeah. This one was really small though. It just hit me in about 2 places, and Layla healed me right back up. You
Yep,
could barely
I
see the
helped.
scars.
Oh,
She's
God.
very helpful.
And you, kind of, not in a rude way, but kind of cutting you off. And Renee, who's kind of slumped to the back of the group, you guys hear behind you, kind of says, "And where were you? Why were you not by his side?" And you see him kind of issue forward and says, "Found him on another continent. It took some time." And they kind of back and forth. You hear Scotta, "I thought he was in Brimston." "Well, that's where the trek led, yes." "How did you get to the other continent?" "Well, I was contacted, and and kind of like a back and forth begins to
Not
occur
Zach
as
having to have a conversation with
yeah.
himself again.
This is my favorite D&D activity, guys. Thank you guys for coming to my TED Talk between two people that I have made voices in my head. It's great. But yeah, this is me cutting myself off to say, long story short, he kind of through a long Q&A describes the path from his perspective to get to you. You do see that he omits anything to do with his arm and what happened in Brimston, or your return and then going back to Brimston and things like that. He mainly describes that the trail led him to Brimston, where he did not find you, but then you were on another continent, and then magically he got there. He doesn't say that, but that's what it sums up to. And then eventually helped you and brought you back.
And he is doing great. He was great. He helped kill the dragon. It was a really big dragon, wasn't it, Renee?
No. It was about the size of a horse, but it did hit pretty hard.
The biggest one I've ever seen.
And you see Scotha kind of compose herself, lowering her shoulders, and not necessarily in a violent tone, but it's more firm now. Well, a bounty is a bounty. My sons are safe, and we have new friends.
Well,
as much as I wish to throw a feast or celebrate your return, I'm
afraid we are low on reserves. Is there anything you guys need?
No.
We're just, always here to help everyone out. We don't need anything. We're just happy to see you.
Of course. Well, I'm sure you have members of your guild to find. But if you have anything to offer, any aid to give, you'd be greatly appreciated. We have quite a few people working on things, but there's always work to be done.
Of course.
Sorry, not me shuffling around a cardboard box filled with paper. There's chicken inside.
Chicken. I bet the people in the Desecrated Acres wish they could get their hands on chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, there's
So-
always kids in the Desecrated Acres starving, so finish your meal.
Exactly.
Oh, I bet Lou did hear that when he was a kid.
Most likely.
Oh, cut to being 15 years old and meeting one of the really mean kids from the Desecrated Acres who
Mhm.
almost cut out his eye.
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyway, yeah.
Well, Ronan, is there anything you needed to ask Gatha or say?
Oh no, I think the floor is all yours at the moment.
I feel like I'm currently in a
Right.
conversation with two children and they're like two children
Right.
embarrassed.
Two children that wrecked the house and they're at the
Yes.
front door.
One
Trying
peeled
to
paint
stop
off the
them.
walls, and the other one accidentally broke a lampshade, and Mom hasn't found either yet.
Yeah.
So,
And I think Lou is going to subconsciously look at Renane's arm and just, well,
If you know, you know.
well, Scotta, lovely. I've done the task I set out for. If there's anything I can help with around here, I would be happy to oblige and help out.
Me too.
He says, well, you both have been on a great journey. I would hate to rush you guys away on business, but if that's the easiest for both of you, then absolutely. There's several different things that need to be done.
We'd be happy to assist.
Well, sure. And I'll ask this: is there anything else you want from the reunion conversation, or do you want to hear
I mean,
more about the community and how to help out? Because she would offer you to let you sit there and ask questions all day. This is mainly me wondering if I go into the list I prepared.
Yeah. The problem is Lou can't really ask much without giving away that he doesn't remember shit.
Right.
So he's trying to tiptoe around that.
Okay.
I think if we can get a list of things, of quest objectives, that would be helpful.
Absolutely. Well, you see, Scatha go back to her seat. And before her are a couple of individuals that you have probably seen around. Your memory does not necessarily serve you. Duh. Amnesia. But she says, there are 3 different tasks that have just been brought to me that may need seeing to. One is more of a routine thing that we were able to gather enough coins to perhaps help out with. Mayor has a few individuals in processing that may or may not be there for good reason. I have heard that there's at least one or two that we may need to look into. Uh, we have 50 gold to spare, and we may be able to bribe him to let a few out if anyone wishes to go. I can do so and choose, but there's quite a few people there, and it requires judgment to be made. We have one of our locals who is not fulfilling his end of a bargain. He helps with our dead and keeping everything tended to. And with that, he is able to smuggle us food and other goods in through caskets. With this line closed, I'm afraid our funding will run short. We need to figure out why he is no longer upholding our agreement. And then third, as always, I hate to do this typically, but we need to send people out of the desecrated acres to hunt and gather food for our people while our sorry, Flim. While our trade caravan is down, until we get the individual mentioned beforehand to fulfill his end of the deal, we are running out of supplies, and this is more of a short fix while we figure out the other end. The main issue there is not only harvesting enough meat to feed quite a few individuals, but getting it back untainted.
Well, we can definitely help with that. That doesn't seem like much of a problem. I mean, oh my gosh, I will.
The background noise.
I know. Ambiance. It's ambiance. It's other conversations happening in other tents. Okay. And it'll be. I think we could do all three of those. You know, I'm gonna look to the others. Paladin and Layla.
Yeah, and if you guys need any more information on the requests, I am perfectly fine helping out.
Paladin, Layla.
Yes.
I think Layla's still impressed by how big Skatha is.
Oh, do I have pictures? I think I have a picture of her that I drew.
Is it a height chart?
Yeah, please,
No.
if you don't mind giving that information, because I'm sure there are details I missed that are
Oh,
100%
yeah.
canonical.
I mean, I can tell you that she's 7'7".
Okay.
To lose at least to lose 6'2". So what a 6'6" person would be to me.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know you guys aren't my height, but
Yeah.
really tall, taller than a lot of pro basketball players.
I assure you, Layla was just, during that whole conversation, until she sat down, just staring up at her slack-jawed.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Not
Zach,
subtle.
the head on the forehead touching thing is a detail that wildly I drew a version of several months ago. So I think that's funny because we had never discussed that.
Yeah, it makes sense though. I think it's
Yeah. Okay, I found her. I've done it. Hold on. I need to draw more of her. I think that would be helpful. Goliaths. I don't know if they're tattoos or they're skin markings or what. You know how Goliaths kind of have that though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like that. Why won't this photo? Hold on. And she has this. This is good enough, I think, for now. We'll redress this later. Yeah. Like, braided hair. She's got the marking. She's got scars across her face and arms and all that.
Yeah, I had the hair down the back of my head, but
Yeah. And, like the shaved sides.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Is there not to railroad? Is
Yeah,
there
yeah.
a quest that you guys have in mind?
I'm
Or do
thinking
you need like a more descriptive reiteration of each?
hunting for food might be the best to do the soonest, because then people can eat while we figure out the other stuff.
Okay.
I was literally just thinking that seemed the simplest.
Yeah.
That's-
And
Mhm.
we might be able, I'm thinking if we could go to like near Weathermount to do that and get two birds with one stone and also see Weathermount.
Potentially. It may be like a go hunting or visit Weather Mountain, then kill something on the way back. Maybe like a scouting kind of deal. I do think it would maybe take 2 days to do that.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'm just saying that's better than crossing the bridge again.
Yes, and the primary thing, and I even had that in notes. I have like primary issues for each one.
Yeah.
But that's, I guess I won't share those because that's more on my side. If you guys
And we'll
know
see,
every
yeah.
issue that you guys may face, it's gonna be like, oh, we'll do this.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
easy.
And I'll say fishing, I'm guessing, will be a problem, but I think Lou is thinking, oh, I come from a port. There's plenty of fish at the port. He's probably just like, oh, there's bound to be good fish in there. I could go fishing.
It's almost like you have my notepad right in front of you. It's kind of funny. It is
Listen,
very comical.
I have brilliant deductive skills,
Yeah.
unlike Lou.
Yeah, so there's the hunting mission, getting the trade route reset up because someone's not following their end of the deal. And then there's also not necessarily breaking people out of jail, but bribing mayor to get people out of jail.
Yeah.
I'll say the trade route's probably the most important, longevity-wise.
I say then we knock out food first, then trade route so they can keep getting food, and
Yeah.
then we bribe the
Yeah,
mayor.
it's not like the prisoners are going anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, depending on how fast the mayor makes his
That's true.
deductions.
Yeah. I think we can do that quick enough.
I appreciate that no matter what happens, this party never considers, hey, maybe we should split up and cover more ground. Despite
Never.
having like 10 members, we're all just like, we move as one.
No,
We
that
move
was
as a single
Maladin early
unit.
on before everybody was like, D&D is a group mission.
Well,
Yeah.
I had the idea of I think Ronaine would probably stand by and help Skatha.
No.
And then Pugnac could go with you guys. He may also have interest in visiting the church at Ailmater. And I think Arias and Leon, for the moment, are kind of just following lead. I don't think they really have any current oppositions, so to speak. But then again, they can all follow you if that's what you guys desire.
Our personal
And he
bard
leaves the
army.
party. Then who are we gonna bully?
Because then theoretically, guys would have a quantity of 6 people, 7 people. Yeah, 7 people. And that could really help on the hunting mission.
That's
It
true.
just depends on how that goes.
I think the more people we have hunting, the better.
I think it depends on if Layla gets her bad eyesight from her mom or her dad.
I'm gonna say we're about to throw a bunch of bards into a hunting mission.
I think we can do
That's
it.
true. Oh man,
'Cause
I
you've
almost
got
made a
me.
reference. Chase, we were while we were waiting on you to get on the other night.
Mhm.
Marcus was playing Tiny Rogues, and he started out as a mage
and ended up just playing a bunch of instruments to kill like death. It was very funny, but that's the first thing that popped in my head. Like you guys running into like a mammoth or something, and just three people in the back just like violently strumming on a banjo, trying to do damage.
We see it as like they're trying to hype us up, and no, they're actually trying to do damage. They're just not.
Yeah.
Oh, it reminds me of the old YouTube suction cup man videos, where he's like, "Here's a song for you, da da da. You're a bitch," and that's just like that. That was the joke.
Yeah. Well, so go hunting. But first, I think if we leave the tent, I think Lou is going to ask for a name. Is there anyone else that I should meet that might be important to see around here?
Well, I think at some point we should meet Zamir, Kalinda, and others. It seems like meeting Mare is on our to-do list. Are you talking about the guild?
Guild, yes. The people that I knew at one point.
Well, yes and no. Some of the more notable figures, unfortunately, due to your leave for a month or so, kind of began to travel elsewhere.
Oh.
Remember how I said I didn't really do the talking?
Oh no. Yeah, I can see how leaving you in charge might have been difficult.
Which, I mean, there was already some tension. One of them certainly didn't like having to get a new dog. The others were just kind of back and forth. It did kind of crumble, if I'm honest. I'm speaking with a Renane tone, but with Scottish speech patterns. My apology.
Oh yeah.
He has one of those accents that come out when you're talking to people with that accent.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, buddy, it's more my fault than yours. And we'll get the guild back together somehow, even if it's not the same people. It means there are less people to question why I'm looking at them like I don't know them.
Well, to be completely honest, I was thinking of it as my fault to begin with. But yes, I agree.
Yeah. Good talk. So are you not going to tell her about your arm?
I don't know. Are you going to tell her that you don't remember anything?
Fair point, but you said it was because she'd be paranoid. That the arm thing's kind of different.
I think she would also be paranoid, but for different reasons.
Fair enough.
It will.
I'm surprised you didn't notice.
Well, I kind of meant to bandage it quite a bit more so it didn't look as shriveled, but yes. And we'll just play it off as him like holding his hands behind his back while talking in almost like a salute manner.
Yeah.
Or like a stand attention.
Say, how is the arm doing? Any better? Can you move it better?
Well, let me see. He pulls it up, and you see him begin to twitch his fingers. And it almost does sound like that. The expression they give like every mummy, where it moves, and you almost hear like leather being pulled.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, just like a.
Not the Jason sound effect.
No. Well, it seems still damaged. Eventually, I would like us all to kind of think of a way to fix it, but I don't know of any currently.
Have we
I
tried
mean, we
magic?
could always go back to the mummy and ask for yours back.
I mean, I guess that is an option.
We'll
Not
put it on our to-do
my
list.
preference, but
I recommend bringing a sacrifice.
Yeah, we can sacrifice someone else. Wait, what? No, Maladin, back up. What?
Well, actually, no, he wasn't dead, was he? I did knock him out and offer him. Yeah, no.
Offered a living sacrifice.
Well, he tried to kill me.
Okay, that's okay.
Mine was
Glad you're not
relative
okay. May I?
self-defense.
Hold on. May I just say, I talked about someone trying to harm us in a bar and taking them and potentially murdering them. But it's different if I were to knock them out, give it to a mummy that wanted and took my entire arm.
Yeah,
All right, yeah.
that is different.
It is different because I didn't instigate it. So I don't have to feel bad about it.
Well, I
Technically,
mean, to
you
be
also
completely
instigated
honest, we
that
don't know
too.
that there's any adverse effects to what Maladin did.
And Maladin just. Maladin didn't know that the guy would die.
It was a very interesting experience. I had no idea what to expect.
He's an innocent babe. Simply a. He's an alien. He's a space alien. They work by different laws than us.
Well, I do.
However, we just
I don't know. just due to my own personal experience, I feel like there might have been something that happened that Maladin probably witnessed with the sacrifice, but we can touch on that later.
Me and me and him just stare at each other, and it's like we just slowly nod.
Yeah, we both saw
Gosh.
horrors for our own circumstances.
It was.
But I'm dancing around the subject, and I'm pretty sure you want me to dance around your subject. But at the same time, you can't judge me for what I said prior any more than I can judge you. Yeah, there is no insight needed, Maladin, for that, but that is exactly what's going on.
So, should we go on a little hunting trip then?
Well, we need to think more about that, but yes.
It always cycles around to being little, huh?
No.
Sorry.
Like, that is not. No.
Isn't gonna instigate anything.
No, not in this case.
Not yet.
He's just a little guy. Why would he do that? What was I going to say? Right. Yes, so are we thinking small game, medium game? Are we thinking like something big? We have to think about how to get it back without it corrupting or spoiling. and whatnot.
Corrupting?
I can levitate things.
You mean
Okay.
animals will corrupt?
Well, I mean, anything dead, yes.
What if we turn them into jerky? What if we make jerky? It keeps longer.
Theoretically, yes. Do you know how to make jerky?
I saw my mom make it. We could pickle it too.
Okay.
We could, if we
Yeah,
go
I
to
guess so.
Weathermount, we could ask for. She has a bunch of chickens. I'm guessing she still has her chickens, and we could ask for eggs.
Okay, I thought you were
I'm-
about to say just go slaughter your mom's chickens.
No, she'd kill me.
I mean, do we want to go that far out?
It is kind of a ways, but it would be our most certain way of getting food.
I guess so, yes. I mean, there's quite a distance in between as well. To be completely honest, I've never paid attention to the wildlife, but I'm sure we can find something. I'm just trying to think of what we are trying to keep an eye out for.
A deer would be great. Pheasants. We could hunt pheasants.
Yeah.
We could try the fish.
We could try fishing.
I hear they're
I
well
double
seasoned.
fish.
Those weird talking fish might taste good.
I don't know if I would personally want to try the weird talking fish.
Maybe not. But yeah. We can go hunting. I can get Layla to get better with the bow. It'll be a fun time. A guy's hunting trip and Layla.
Yeah, guys.
That's not very inclusive of you, Lou.
I'm sorry.
I forgive
A
you.
family hunting trip.
There we go.
I'm the adopted one, I see.
Yeah,
Don't worry, we're all the time.
you're like the weird cousin.
Great. At least it's not the uncle.
No,
That's
So does
the
this mean we're
twin.
going into
I already
the
have an
woods?
uncle.
Yeah.
I believe so. No, yes.
Let's go hunting.
Okay, sounds good. Would someone like to roll me a D? Well, no. I'll ask for survival check. Who is leading this?
Oh dear, survival? That sounds like a Lou thing.
Hey, Lou,
That's-
you should totally
it
let me lead. I got
Really,
Actually-
it's not a survival.
Yeah,
it's really
that's
not
not-
a
this. I've
Lou
got
thing.
this.
How
Lou
is
is not
Layla
survival.
gonna be the one? I can't believe
Come on.
it.
I've got this. Let me do it.
Just,
Come on.
okay,
come on,
okay.
coach.
I trust you.
Yeah.
You, who's never been here.
Yeah.
You, who's never seen a tree in
I
their life.
I wanna see it. I wanna see Layla's survival moment.
I've got the best vibes about this place. Okay. I got
Okay.
a 16.
Oh
Alrighty.
boy.
How far west are you heading?
I don't know. I have. Hold on. Let me find a map. Is the map pinned?
Is it
Is not.
I'm
Can I see
currently
the map
showing
somewhere?
it.
son of a bitch?
Oh. Let me pull up the stream.
I'm glad you have that saved.
I was looking for like a picture to throw up, and I was like, oh hey, I still have this.
Yeah. Can you repost it in D&D Fridays just so I can
Sure.
pin
Assuming
it this time?
See upload. Pop.
Thank you.
Okay. So where approximately are we?
We should be down at the bottom right.
All
Yeah,
right.
You guys are
Where?
you guys are at the TED part of Desecrated Acres.
Okay. If this is too vague, tell me. I'm gonna keep going until the vibes feel spot on.
Okay.
Once the vibe check hits and it's rocking, that's when I'm gonna be like, hold
So
up,
when
y'all.
it's less
Right here.
desecrated, more acre.
Not necessarily. Maybe.
Okay. So
Maybe.
you guys would have to walk all the way to like the I'm gonna say the choke point. See where the two divots go into the map.
Yeah.
Okay, that is about the point where it begins to turn into more grassy areas. And with a 16, we will say you see 3 or 4 deer.
How far away?
I'm guessing you're using your lenses, so probably I forgot the range on those.
I also forgot the range on those.
Oh jeez.
Me
Hey,
now.
note taker.
Me now. I'm about to bring up Layla not wanting to kill a bunch of spiders.
I know it was like an absurd
I want to
range.
say it was almost like a mile.
Yeah, that
I
sounds
would
right.
say we could conduct around like 120 feet if that's what you guys wanted to do, or you guys can make stealth checks to get closer.
Okay, well, once
You're
we
funny.
get like around to that range, I will point them out to Lou. Like as soon as I see them, I'm gonna be like, "Hey,
All right.
hey, look over there."
So that's more than 600 feet.
Yes.
All right.
Can Lou
we
see
need to
that
be-
far?
The elf eyes see all.
That's what I'm wondering. Are goggles better than al natural elf eyes?
In this case, definitely.
Layla, I'm not seeing anything.
Oh, well, they're over there.
All right, let's keep walking a little further, very stealthily, very quietly. I can
I'm just
hit them
gonna
from
turn
600
and
feet.
I'm gonna stare Maladin in the eyes.
Maladin's a few feet back.
Okay, how about I walk forward? Layla, do you want to try to shoot some deer?
Do you want to eat tonight?
All right, come on.
Oh no, that was supposed to not instill
Oh.
trust in you. But
I-
I'll come. I'll come to watch.
I want. Okay, you can learn. That's the best way is to learn by watching.
That's not true.
You're right. I'm just trying to be supportive. I don't know
Thanks.
how to teach.
You're doing so great.
All right. So we're gonna try to sneak within 600 feet of them.
Okay.
We need stealth for that.
Good. No, I don't think for
Okay.
600 feet.
Okay, so Lou, I believe because of one of his feet, he does not take disadvantage at 600 feet.
Okay. Sure. So
Double check.
you just need to tell me if you're firing at deer 1, 2, 3, or 4 when you do so.
I think I'll shoot at deer number 2 first. 2 looks good.
Okay.
I mean, is there one that's a little further away from the pack?
They seem to be all kind of together.
Okay. And will this count as my like 2 attacks per action thing?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to try to.
The only thing I'll need to know is if you're no. We can fire and then we'll go from there.
Okay. I'll fire at deer 2.
Alrighty. So go ahead and roll.
That's going to be a 21 to hit.
Okay, 21 hits.
12 damage.
Okay, 1 deer goes down.
And I'll hit deer number 3.
Alrighty.
16 to hit.
Okay, 16 hits.
14 damage.
14 damage. Hold on.
Guys, I'm getting a little worried that one of these deer isn't going to be a deer.
You said how much
What does
damage?
that mean?
14.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Sarah, you would also have an opportunity to attack a deer if you're helping with your bow.
You know what? Absolutely, I would. I would
Okay.
love to. So that would be at disadvantage at this range, right?
Correct, yes. Well, plus your eyesight and the range of the bow.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I got a natural 20 and a 4.
Okay. Which deer were you aiming at?
He got 1 and 2, so I'll go for 3.
Well, he did 2 and 3.
Oh, I'll do 1.
Okay. I don't know why I asked. You missed. But so Lou lets out an arrow. It kills deer number 2 in the field. You see deer 1 and 4 begin to scurry off. Layla, that's when you fire your bow at 1 and it misses. You watch as your arrow strikes deer 3 directly in the shoulder, and it doesn't move. But as it kind of sits there and kind of realizes that there's an arrow in its shoulder, it turns to face you. And you see that its eyes are filled with blood, with almost like a golden amber colored iris. There's a lack of skin on its nose, and its mouth seems to be drooped open with teeth that seem craggy and misaligned with an herbivorous creature. And as you strike it, it knows that you are there, and it does not seem friendly, and it does not seem natural. And with y'all's permission, I think we will call it there and pick up here next time.
And just when I returned.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Undead
What?
monster deer.
Oh, it's a
okay.
zombie deer.
Yeah. He struck it with an arrow and it didn't flinch, and then it kind of creepily turned to face him. Its nose is missing skin and its mouth is drooped open with jagged teeth that seem to have violently grown out of its jawbone. Oh, and the bloodshot eyes with amber iris.
I'm gonna be honest, your elf eyes suck.
Maybe a little bit.
I was asked if you see deer. I was not asked of the condition of said deer. But
Oh, yeah. That's fair. Lou's gonna be like, dang it, this one's got a disease. We can't eat any of them now because they might all have diseases.
Don't worry, I can fix it.
yeah, oh, it
Okay.
might have a disease as it looks at you and just like goes.
Lou's like, oh, I think that one might have that one might have rabies.
Yeah.
So, fun fact, Layla can actually cure diseases.
Oh, that's great. We're gonna have to see if that works next time.
Can't
Does it-
wait.
Do we have to cure the living version of the deer or the not re-dead version of the deer?
It doesn't say it has to be alive. It says I touch a creature and can end a disease.
Well, I imagine touch a creature means it has to be living, otherwise we're just going to be touching the re-corpse.
Okay. Define creature. Okay, nothing specifies alive.
Well, otherwise, I consider a corpse an object more than a creature.
Can a creature be dead? Okay, it's showing up as possums, which I don't think is biological immortality. I don't think this is answering what I meant for
The
it to.
immortal creature, the possum.
Dead Creatures full movie? Excuse me? The Lich in mythology.
Oh, I think this is important. Have we ended stream?
Not yet.
Okay.
Thank you for stopping by. Thanks for sticking around. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I got the important bits.
Yeah.